Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Heart with Simon. I come to you with this new podcast, which is something I started last week. So this is the second show called Building Wealth. And today, my guest is going to be Joseph James. I'm going to bring him on and let him do his own introduction. But I feel that Joe has been in commercial real estate and multifamily for a while now, and he is the founder of ROI, a company that provides software tools, training, and coaching for real estate agents and investors. He enjoys helping his clients grow their grow wealth through commercial real estate, brokerage, and investment. So I'm going to bring him on, and I'm delighted to have you here, Joe. We've been trying to do this for some time, and it finally happened. And I figured, what better way to bring you on than to talk about multifamily, which you are a pro at, especially with your company ROI Muse, which does offer a lot of free training. So before I even let you speak, Joe, I will say one thing about you. Joe has actually seen me at my lowest point. Joe doesn't realize this, but there is a special place in my heart for you, Joe, because you were one of those people who through a lifetime and who helped me come out of the lowest point in my life where I was at. And I was just, trying to swim, and I was trying to find any life jacket, anything that I could hang on to. And you were one of those people. So I'm so grateful to have you here, and welcome.
Thank you so much, Saima, and always glad to be here and always glad to be part of your journey. That is amazing to see how you have become this celebrity podcaster, radio host, and couldn't be more happier for you. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. Absolutely, Joe. So, I did give a brief introduction. Tell me, what is it about multifamily? Because I know you're all about multifamily. So tell me, what is it about multifamily that attracted you as a commercial real estate agent towards it?
Absolutely. So I'll take a step back, Saima, if you don't mind. So when I was looking to transition from the corporate world to business world, trying to see, hey, what is going to fit my personality? What am I going to enjoy doing, right? So I was already into real estate investing, single family, multifamily, and then decided that if I'm going to quit my job, then I'm going to start a business that is going to be in real estate. That was the first decision I made, that I'm going to build something. I'm not just going to become an agent, I'm going to build a business in real estate. So that was the first step. And we chose multifamily because one, I felt like a lot more people understood multifamily, because a lot more people are single family investors or they own homes, so they know how homes work, and what goes into maintaining a home and what goes into investing in homes and things like that. And multifamily was just an extension of that, right? So instead of one home, you have two homes. Now that's a multifamily, right? A duplex is considered a multifamily. A triplex, a 4-unit property or a quadplex is considered multifamily. So it's much more easier for myself and a lot of people that I know to understand and get into. And then once you start looking at that, then you figure out, hey, it's much more easier to scale if you want to go into what we call commercial multifamily. A commercial multifamily property is anything that's 5 units or above, all the way up to hundreds of units, like 100, 200, 300 unit properties. It's easier to scale to that once you understand how to start small. So that was the reason why obviously multifamily was an attraction as well.
So backtracking just a little bit, especially like we were just talking before we hopped on, and I said to you that you know we want to teach people who have their primary jobs And we want to teach them, like I was telling you, I feel that every single individual should own real estate investments, should do investments, so that a point comes in their life where they are free, they are generating passive income, and they have that flexibility to be able to build something if they choose to do it. I feel we have not come into this life is not there just for us to work 40, 50, 60, 80 hours a week. I feel that there's more to it than just, and I think real estate, building real estate wealth is something that enables you to do that by having multiple assets which are paying itself off over a period of time. You reach a point where you have enough invested to be able to to be able to get 10 to 15 grand in passive income a month, where at least you don't have to worry about your mortgage, you don't have to worry about your basic expenses, and you're able to um, just sit back and think, what is it that you want to do in your life? And this segues into you leaving a corporate job where you were doing extremely well, you were making a lot of money, to take those risk, to take that chance upon life, right? To on yourself, to leave that world where you have stability and stable income, and jump into something where, as real estate agents, there are so many unknowns, there are so many things which go wrong, there are so many closings which do not end up happening, yet we still have all those bills at the end. How did you convince yourself to take that leap of faith?
Well, mine was it was the realization that it's now or never, right? Because I was not getting any younger, and it was like, if I'm not going to do it now, I'm not going to start a business when I'm 60, right? So I had to kind of force myself into it, right? So, but there was a lot of thought that went into it. I knew that if I was going to leave my corporate job and saying no to my six-figure income at that point, then I better be prepared. So part of that transition was, one, getting my real estate license and working part time to see if this is something that you're going to like. Not only life as an agent, to experience that on a part time basis to see, do I even like it, right? And part of me was like, yeah, I can really do this. I like working with people, and people like working with me, and this is awesome. Part of me was, I don't think I can do this for long term, because and then it was like, okay, so what is the next logical step? So you look at, how does a business looks like, a multifamily investment business looks like, how does running a brokerage company look like, and how does it look like building a commercial real estate software company and a training company look like. So those are all very encouraging, right? Because it's not just one thing. Once you get into real estate, whether you're an investor or whether you're a real estate agent, there are multiple streams of income that you can generate, and there are multiple business opportunities. And we haven't even scratched the surface. Like, there is construction management, there's property management, there is so many affiliated businesses that are required. And then, as long as you can find your niche that you enjoy doing, and mine is always, I have a passion for building software. So it was always, software was I knew that even if I went from corporate to real estate, I can always build a software company within real estate, right? So that's kind of what gave me the comfort of taking that leap of faith, knowing that I will land somewhere.
Absolutely, and you've built something, and you do have partners, right? And
Yes.
you have built something dynamic. ROI Muse is something which is very dynamic. It's something very amazing. And Joseph, I don't think it's ROI Muse is something which is just for you if you're wanting to get into commercial real estate as an agent, if you want to transition from residential to commercial. I think it's there if you are wanting to become an investor. And the amount of free education that you give, I share with everyone that I was literally on this camel in Egypt, and the guy who was driving my steering my camel towards the pyramids, he was telling me how most of his income that he makes goes into private education for his 11-year-old son. And right there, I told him that, at this point, you don't need to pay everything you make for private schooling. All you need is a computer and internet connection. And if you go on the internet, you have all kinds of education, which is free. There's no charge. There's so much people like yourself that provide to others in a free format. And so it's basically, you have to be driven, you have to have the desire to learn and to be able to do it. So tell us a little bit about ROI Muse and its connection to multifamily.
Absolutely. So we started ROI Muse. I started developing some tools, mostly in Excel and other ways to help my own business. And then my friends started asking for it, and then I had to explain how this works, and kept making mistakes and things like that. So we decided that, hey, why don't we take this and make it online, make it available for everybody at a very low cost. So that will help them not only educate themselves on how investments work and how to underwrite deals, how to analyze deals, how to minimize the mistakes you're going to make by not looking by not looking at the different aspects of an investment deal. So that is how ROI Views was formed. And initially, it was just a software company to help you analyze your deals. And then, uh, because of the popularity and because people said, "Hey, we like the software, but can you teach us how investments work, or how do I transition from residential real estate to commercial? I am either a residential agent or I'm a residential investor. How do I go from doing that to becoming a commercial or multifamily investor?" So we started offering some training out of necessity to say, okay, let's offer that as a training. And then that training led to people wanting, saying, "Oh, okay, we like the training, we like the free training." Like Simon mentioned, we do a lot of free training, and we have courses available as well. But then some people wanted more than that. So I need more support. I need somebody to hold my hands every day. I need somebody to help me with my deals. So we started a coaching company as well. So it was basically driven by our customer demand. So when you have to listen to your customers, what your customers want is what you provide as a service, right? So
So
that's
there's
kind of
something for everyone,
correct.
depending on different levels, whatever it is that people are looking for. There is something that everyone is able to, you cater to all different levels of knowledge and expertise, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we actually start from residential because we have residential investment analysis tools, and then which is a segue to learning multifamily, which is a segue to learning commercial, right? So we kind of take you step by step. If you're a residential agent, hey, how does that look like in from the numbers perspective, and how does that skills translate to multifamily and commercial? So it's all available for you to learn.
So transitioning into, what is the starting point if someone who's listening and they are like, okay, I'm interested, I've already kind of experimented with real estate on the single family home side, and I think I'm ready to take on more, which is getting into multifamily, getting into commercial real estate. What would be the starting point? How would you hold someone's hand, Joe, who is a novice and who doesn't really know where to start? Where would you start with them?
Well, I think you already mentioned that earlier, right? So I think you have to have a strong desire, right? I mean, that is the number one thing with anything in life, right? If you want to start a business or if you want to make a change in your life, there should be something that's driving you, right? Something that is bigger than you, something that you want to help others. You know, that's almost a must in my mind. If you are going on to that, if you want to do an entrepreneurial journey, having a strong desire, with that, you'll have the focus and the commitment, and there are a lot of people who can help you get the focus and commitment once you have a strong desire. So that's number one thing. Now the second thing is that you have to understand that all businesses are built similarly, and whether you're doing residential investments or multifamily or commercial investments, it's just slight difference in the nuances, right? So basically, what do you do in residential? What are some of what is the most important skill that you need in any business is people need to like you, right? You should be a likable person. You need to know how to talk to people, right? So those are the same skills that you need when you get into commercial and multifamily as well, right? That transition is something that we can teach you. But part of building wealth, and all the theme of the show today is building your wealth, right? Part of building any wealth is acquiring specialized knowledge, right? Knowledge that is, specialized, and it's very, that not everybody has, like that you have. That's how you stand out, right? So if you can say that, hey, I know how to do multifamily, or I know how to do commercial, and I acquired those specialized knowledge, that is how you're going to stand out, and that's what you can build a business around and attract other people to want to work with you, right? Other people want to invest with you, is when you acquire that specialized knowledge. So always focus on acquiring that specialized knowledge, and that's where we can help you, right? We can guide you through what are the steps you need to do. These are the things that you need to understand, and this is how it's different from, a corporate job, or this is how it's different from a residential real estate investment, right? So those are all the things that we can help you with. You just need to come up with an open mind and willingness to learn.
So if people come in and they reach out to you on your website, they sign up, they start, you have all these, you already have a lot of information which is on there on your website that people can go through, and the different trainings that you do. Um, how do people, what kind of money should they have?
Well, to work with us, you don't need any money, and it depends on your, what you're looking for, right? So the first thing, thank you for putting that website up, roinews.com. Once you go there, there should be a link somewhere there on the page to say sign up for free training. So you sign up for the free training, and we'll start sending you free training materials, and we'll also start inviting you to our ongoing training events. And I just finished a one-day training on multifamily last week. It was 100% free. Now, obviously, we are a business, so we also want to, pay our staff and make some money as well. So
Of course.
we may offer you some other services to say, okay, if you want access to the software, it's like, if $10-20 a month, right, to get access to the software. If you want access to coaching, that's a little bit more. If you want that level of access to our coaches, we have multiple coaches that can help you depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking to learn commercial real estate, I have a team of 4 coaches that I can assign to you to help you, right? Literally, our students work with different coaches to hone in different parts of their skills. If you're looking to learn investments, then we will assign certain coaches to work with you to help you get to where you want to get to. So those are some of the, and our costs are very affordable. We want to impact as many people as possible. So we, at the end of the day, we build businesses to impact as many people as we can, right? But part of doing business is via costs and revenue need to be generated as well. But at the end of the day, the intention is to help as many people. That's why we keep our costs very low, and we also keep our tools very easy to use, right? Because at the end, that's what's going to make it easy for you to get into multifamily and commercial, by getting access to easy to learn training, easy to use tools, and also affordable and accessible coaching. So that, I believe, is the 3 things that you need when you're starting out.
I feel, Joe, in fact, my previous guest who was here on, he did the opening show for Building Wealth last week. My mentor, Sharon Srivastav, he taught me that everything is an exchange of energies. So everything has to be an exchange in an equal level in order for it to be fruitful. So I think, as much as there's so much that you're giving out, which is free, I feel that people should be okay with paying for the service that they're actually wanting, um, whatever that amount might be. Now, my guest who came last week, Sharif Madawar, he teaches you how to invest in Puerto Rico, simply because the tax, that they are able to steer you towards to help you save taxes. It's 4% if you invest in a certain way in Puerto Rico. But then he has classes that he teaches on that, and he charges $35,000 for it. So I think it's basically, people have to be willing and okay with paying people to learn. There is a cost, and people, I think it's a mindset, right? The mindset should be that, hey, you know what? This is what I'm going to gain, and this is what it will help me achieve. And people should be okay with investing in themselves, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to invest. You have to, it all goes back to mindset, right? So you have to, regardless of what background you're coming from, whether you're a stay at home mom or you're coming from a corporate background, whatever it is, you have to first understand that you're starting a business. Part of starting a business is there is cost of doing business. There is a business capital layout that's required in most cases to start a business. So I always draw the parallels to saying that, hey, if I want to go start a hair salon, or if I want to go start a Subway restaurant, or if I want to go open a donut store, it's all going to require a lot of capital upfront for you to invest. In real estate, especially as a real estate agent business, you don't have to invest a lot of money, right? All you're investing is a small amount of money to get a coach, get a mentor, like the folks that you mentioned, Sharon and Sharif. I know both of them in the sense that I know they're great personalities out there, helping a lot of people.
Yes.
So, but it also comes with making an investment to work with those people, right? Because their time is also limited. So, same thing with us. We also charge a fee if you want to work with us. We offer a lot of free training and a lot of free resources available. We bring in a lot of experts to teach you different topics in commercial real estate. But if you want to work with us on a very close basis, yes, that's an investment that you're going to make in your business to enhance the cost, right? So to speak, right? So the mindset of going from being an employee or an unemployed person to in a good sense, right? I don't mean in any bad sense, but going from to becoming a business owner, that transition, it starts with your mindset, knowing that, yeah, first I need to surround myself with people who are successful, right? I need to model out people who already done it before me. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Your path to success will be much shorter if you can just follow the path that's created for you by other people who have done that and learned it the hard way, right? No need to make the same mistakes that other people have made, right? Learn from the people,
Especially in business.
especially in business, right? Because if you make a huge mistake, that can wipe you out, right? Then you have to start all over again. But even if you are to start all over again, that's fine. That we all know a lot of people who start businesses, it takes a few attempts before they are successful. But what if you can be successful the first attempt? And what if your capital investment is very little? That is the one of the best opportunities. I feel like in commercial real estate. That goes back to Simon. You asked me about why multifamily and why commercial real estate. Like when I looked at so if you start any business, for example, you have to hire employees, you have to have inventory, you have to rent an office, or you have to rent a store. And when you look at the real estate business, you don't have to do any of that, right? So you don't need inventory. The whole world is your inventory. You can go sell properties in Dubai, you can go sell properties in any part of the country. You can sell office buildings, multifamily buildings, retail shopping centers. You can sell homes. There is so much out there that you can sell or lease or help your clients with, right? So the opportunity is huge. It's like multiple trillions of dollars worth of inventory that's available for you to go and fill it, right? All you need to do is figure out how to get into the business, have a mentor, have a coach, somebody who can show you the ropes, right? So you can get into the business and grow within that business much faster.
So, Joel, tell me, for people who are listening and they are like, okay, I'm wanting to get started. What is going to be like the first step, second, third, fourth? What?
Sure.
How does it layer out?
Yeah, absolutely. So it depends on, okay, so if you're going to become a real estate agent, right? So if that's the business that you're going to build, then obviously you need to get licensed first. So there is a licensing part of what you need to do, and it's very easy, right? The qualifications are, I think, high school diploma or equivalent, and I think you have to be 18 years old or something. You have to take a few exams, a few courses, a few exams, and then you get your license. It's very easy for anybody to get. So that is just the licensing requirement part. But that doesn't teach you anything about how to run your business, right? Or
How to build your business.
how to build your business, right?
Yeah.
So that is something that you usually what people do is, you can try to figure it out on your own. They probably going to take you a little bit longer, or you work with somebody that you look up to, like like Saima is in the real estate business. So if you're a junior agent or somebody who's starting out, work with somebody like Saima or myself, or depending on what you want to do, and let us teach you the business, right? And obviously, you should come with the right mindset to say that what am I going to contribute to that business, right? Part of that is, if we are working together, we are sharing our commissions, or I'm mentoring you. It's not always a one-way street. As long as you have the right mindset that I'm not coming here to burden my mentor, I'm here to soak up as much as I can from my mentor. In exchange, I'm going to be doing some work for them as well,
Yeah.
right? So if you come with the right mindset, it'll be a win-win scenario, and that's
Especially if it's an equal exchange of energy.
equal exchange of energy. That's a better way to put it, right? You have to create that win-win scenario for you and your mentor. So that is the one way to get into the business. Now, there are a lot of real estate companies out there that provides a lot of training, right? So I think getting trained is very important. But at the end of the day, your biggest commodity, the most valuable commodity you have is your customers, right? And you have to give the highest importance to your customers. How are you going to service your customers at the highest level, right? So you have to always think about that. Servicing your clients at the highest level does not mean that you cannot get away with that, right? You have to literally put yourself in a position that you are the best trained agent. You are the most knowledgeable agent. You have access to most the best resources, whenever whatever that you need to help your clients. As long as you keep your customers in mind as they are the number one, and then you will know that what you need to do, that to make sure that you are the most competent agent to serve them, right? So that is the way you look at it.
So, what about as an investor? As an investor who is, who has the money, is there like a minimum amount they should have if they are contemplating multifamily?
No, there is no minimum amount. Obviously, there are different ways you can do this business. So, one, if you want to become an investor, I think the first thing I recommend is sit down with somebody who understands. It could be a real estate agent, or it could be, your financial advisor, CPA, or somebody who specializes in real estate. Sit down and talk about strategies, right? Everybody has a different risk profile. Some people like to take more risk. Some people like to take less risk, and also understand how money works. Like, why do people invest? People invest so that they can grow their money, like they can create passive cash flow, and plan for their retirement. So all those things that Simon you mentioned earlier, right? So that's the reason why people invest. So you have to think about what is your number one priority. If your number one priority, if is your number one priority to create cash flow, or is your number one priority to create long-term wealth accumulation? So you kind of have to have that conversation, right? Because the reason for that is, once you have that conversation, that's going to steer you towards which property types you should look at. So part of that discussion is also talking about, hey, how much work are you doing to do? Are you able to do any work? Like, if you are a busy professional, or if you're a doctor or engineer, whatever you are, right? You may not have time to work, right? So if you don't have time to work, and your money is not working for you because it's not being invested, then my recommendation is, let's try to find a partner who can actually do that work for you, right? So let's work together, right? One or two or three people. So that way we can accomplish it's a win-win for everybody, and but you're meeting your financial, or investment goals as well. So you have to have that conversation about how much work you're willing to do, how much risk you're willing to take, right? So some people, especially if you're young, you can take a little bit more risk, right? Because you also have the energy to do some extra work. But some people, it may not be advisable for you to take a certain amount of risk, right? So you have to look at what is the right investment opportunity, based on each person's profile, and then we come up with what is the ideal property they want to invest in, what is the ideal investment type they should pursue, right? So that is all part of that discussion that you should have with your advisor before going out and doing it.
If they want to pursue multifamily, and they have around 200,000, there are different options, right? They can go out and look for something which is around 1 million, where they use their 200,000 as the 20% down. Another option is to be a part of perhaps a syndication, which basically means, and I believe you do those, right?
We
Um,
do.
where maybe a property is 20 million and you're looking for 20 people to put in a million each, or 40 people to put in 500,000 each, or I'm just throwing random
Yes.
numbers out there. And then you are a part of a bigger project, a syndication, and together, there's a fund manager, and you create something which is bigger, which is more dynamic. There's a time frame to how long it's going to take for you to get your original money back, what the rate of return is going to be. So there are these different opportunities out there. What is something you're working on right now, Joe?
So yeah, that's a great question, right? So I'm not working on any active projects right now because market is kind of in a little bit of a flux, as we all know. So we're all kind of watching, waiting and watching and seeing how this all plays out. Uh, so let's say for somebody who has $200,000, that's the example that you use, right? I mean, not a lot of the time, Saima, that you will realize that when somebody says they have 50,000 to invest or 100,000 to invest, that is not necessarily true, right? You may have a lot more money to invest that you don't even realize. So that is the first thing that is part of your advisor, or what somebody who's trained in this can do for you is looking at your entire network. So I think since this is a wealth building class, I'll mention the one of the most powerful tools you have out there to grow your wealth is a concept called return on your network. So it's a concept that a lot of people don't think about, right? Everybody understands it, but a lot of people don't think about it. And I'll give you an example. I met with a client the other day, and we asked them how much. They came to us and said they want to invest, and they want like to invest in commercial real estate, and they wanted us to help them work with them to for a long-term wealth accumulation plan. And we kind of asked them how much money you have to invest, and they said same thing, right? I have $100,000 in my checking account. What do you have? All right, so let's just sit down and look at your net worth. Turns out their net worth is more than $1 million, right? Because they have money in 401k, they have money in IRA, they have a lot of money in their primary home. There's money sitting in different places, right? That they're not even thinking about that as their wealth or investable capital. So one of the first things that you have to understand of the number one principle of growing wealth is looking at making most of your money work for you, right? That's called the concept of return on your net worth. So first step is to, you asked me what is step number one. Step number one is to look at what's your network, what's your current network. A lot of us are going to starting with zero when you start out. That's perfectly fine, right? There's nothing to be, that's how everybody started with the zero network. So the question is, okay, now what is your goal? You want to start growing your network because the financial freedom to work, you have to accumulate accumulate wealth over a period of time and then deploy that wealth to that money to make money for you, right? That's how wealth is created. That's how passive income is created, right? So the goal is to look at what you currently have and otherwise set a goal to see this is what I want to be in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and put a plan to get there. So, and we can help you with that. You just have to, like they say, there's no, you can't lie to the doctor and lawyer, and you cannot lie to your real estate advisor either.
Absolutely. And this is actually something that most people don't realize, that you can actually use your 401k money for the down payment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you have to be I mean, yes and no. You have to you
As
can
long
use
as
your
it allows
401. Yeah, there are some caveats. Like you can use your 401k money if you can get it out of your employer's 401k plan. You can use your IRAs. You can invest from self-directed IRAs. And there's also one other thing that's often overlooked. A lot of people who own businesses, doctors, lawyers, any small business owner, you also have something called a solo 401k. That you can a solo 401k plan that allows you to put significant amount of your annual earnings into your solo 401k, and then you can invest from that as well. Only thing that you should keep in mind is, again, I'm not a financial advisor or a CPA, but talk to
Yeah.
your CPA about it. That if you're doing any investment from any retirement accounts, then you have to be passive. Right? You cannot be doing anything active work, right? But yes, you can use that as down payment, or you can use that to buy shares in a syndicate or anything like that. But you cannot be active managing the property, or you cannot pick up your hammer and go start breaking down walls and painting. Right? You can't do any of that stuff. So you have to understand what the different nuances are associated with investing with your with your retirement accounts. But
And
yes,
that's a
absolutely.
lot of information. I mean, this is not just like, okay, you go out there and it's okay, please sign on the dotted line. And it's not like that. There's a lot that's involved. There are, SEC regulations which are followed, especially when you're working with, funds and syndications. And there are a lot of things which go into play. Um, do you when you create something, uh, Joe, are you working with a SEC attorney?
Yes, we are. So depends on. So sometimes if it's a smaller deal, a smaller group of people, you can do what's called a joint venture, right? So if you're doing a joint venture, you don't need an SEC attorney. You just go to any real estate attorney and to create the documents that you need. So one of the things and a lot of people do joint ventures all day long, right? So basically, you see that, or like two doctors can get together, three families can get together and buy a property, right? That's typically a joint venture. By definition, that you have to be active in the deal, right? So you cannot have passive investor. So, but a lot of the time, you may not want to do that, or you don't have enough money to do a joint venture. Then you may want to invest into a syndicate. In a syndicate, you can invest as little as whatever the syndicate will allow for a specific deal, right? So, I know funds that will allow you to invest 25,000 or $50,000 as a minimum, right? So some funds will require 100,000, but most syndications and funds minimums are going to be around 25K to 50K or 75K, whatever, right? In that range, between 25 and 100K.
Just depending on the product.
It depends on the project and depending on the fund itself, right? So you just have to talk to different people to see what they have to offer. But also understand that, hey, how long is it going to take if I invest my money into the syndicate? What is the business plan? How long are you going to hold the property? When do I get my money back? What is the projected returns? So whenever we talk about investments, we should also tell about every investment carry a risk, right? So that's something that you should understand. Investing in stock market or investing in real estate or anywhere you invest your money, you carry
And
there is
that
always going to be
actually
some risk.
and that actually applies with single family homes as well. And I feel that when I tell people become real estate investors, it's not just whether it's multifamily. It can literally be going out there and, like I mentioned earlier, buying that first house, which is, talking about the Dallas Fort Worth market, even if it's at, 310 or 320 or 30, and you put minimum down first. So it's a $300,000 home. And if you're putting down 5%, right, that's around 15 grand. Plus some, with all the everything that investors are that builders are giving you right now. It's you're pretty, out of pocket what, 15 grand, and you have bought your first house, and maybe you live there for a few months, and once you've lived there for a year, then you move into your second house and put a tenant in the first house. There are so many different things, right? There's short-term rentals, the Airbnb.
Airbnbs, yeah, they have become very popular now. Yeah, I think yes, you have to look at real estate as one of the ways that one of the vehicles available to you to grow your wealth. The sooner you can buy your first home, the better, right? That's kind of what we all know that there are some strategies available. So if you live in a house for 2 years and then you make that a rental, and or if you sell it, the proceeds from that property maybe not subject to taxation, right? So those are things that you should talk to your CPA about. That, again, I'm not giving you any financial advice or CPA advice here, but there are some strategies that are used by people. So even otherwise, just look at buying a duplex and renting out the other side of the home, right? So that is another way that let somebody pay your mortgage, right? Let the tenant pay your mortgage while you're building your wealth. that is done in, like, I feel like, in some cities like New York and other metropolitan areas, that's done all the time. People rent out their basements, people rent out their parts of their house, so room share, whatever, to do that, right? So those are all different ways you can get started.
There's so many ways, right? uh, there's something which is valid for every individual based on your needs, based on the amount of money you have. I'm a you know I work with a lot of youngsters because of my show. My clients will bring their kids who are either graduating from colleges, or I tell parents that, you know what, if your kids are studying in colleges, go help them become a property manager while they're studying, help them get a 3 bedroom 2 bath, tell them to live in one of the rooms, rent out the other rooms, and let other people who are living in your home take care of the mortgage. And even if you get a job somewhere else, let one of the people renting become take over, give them a reduction in rent, let them rent out the other rooms. And they're just creative ways of doing these things. But so help your children become real estate investors.
Yeah, absolutely. There is, I think kids always learn from their parents, right? So what parents are doing is going to translate into kids as well, right? Not only from your entrepreneurial spirit, but also, you're trying to build wealth. They see that, right? And they start early, right? They have a longer runway than some of us, right? Because, when they're coming out of college and they're making, good salaries, that's the best time to start, right? Not when they have families and, or kids like me, right? So
Let's not go there. They're all different kinds of things, right? Every story is a different story, right? 8 billion almost population of this world. Everyone's DNA is different. Everyone's story is different. So what can you say,
I
right?
think the goal is to start early, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But if you're just, if you're, let's say, wherever you are, that is the best time to start, right? So let's just
yeah.
put it that way, right? The best time was yesterday, the next best time is today, right?
Is right now. Yeah,
Right
because
now.
you can't bring the past back.
Yes.
Start now. Whatever that now is. Help your kids. Um, you know, uh, uh, First thing, if you're saving for their marriages, especially in the Southeast Asian culture, you instead of doing that, first help them, become a real estate investor, and then think about
Yeah,
marriages.
even for college funds, there are some real estate investment opportunities, even for college funds. Even like we talked about using some of your retirement accounts, there are some retirement accounts that you can use to set up college funds as well, right, for your kids. So there are a lot of different things that you can do. And I believe you can also do that as a grandparent for your grandchild as well. So there are different ways you can set up a college fund. Instead of a wedding gift, I would not give any my kids wedding gifts. I probably give them a house, right?
Yeah.
That is going to be there for them for a much longer than a fancy wedding. So that is just
And absolutely, I mean, fancy wedding, if that's also there, then hey, that's also fine. Kids are making good money. They're able to make all their dreams come true. But I feel that this is something. Can you just imagine, Joe, if your kids are in their early 20s, and if they start now, and them, in the next 10, 12, 15 years, they have 3 to 5 assets which are paid off, generating around $15,000 in current money for them. They are able to retire anywhere in the world, as long as I feel, because I have some clients who are overseas, and we have been, they've been, they're now at, they have 2 properties under their belt. And I was talking to them recently, and they were like, okay, I'm thinking that we are now coming back into the US. So, we are in a different city for a while, so let's invest here. And the wife was like, no, can you, talk to my husband, convince him to come
down to Dallas. And I was like, why do you think he listened to me? And she was like, because I listened to you. So he'll, he'll listen to you as well. But what I'm saying is, and that's what I told him. I was like, you can retire in Asia, anywhere in the world you want. Keep your keep your assets over here so that there's someone managing them, and the money that you generate, the 10, 15 grand, you're living a life in Asia, you're living like a grand life. What?
Let's all retire in Dubai.
Dubai, Thailand, wherever you want, or keep Dubai as your base
You
and
know,
you're in the
I,
middle
I
of
think
it.
I think there is one thing that, Simon, I think you said it correctly. But another thing that you have to also think about is the freedom that you're giving your child, right? So if you have accumulated enough assets and you can give your child 3 or 4 homes, that
Freedom.
gives you freedom. So that freedom is much bigger than you think, right? That freedom allows them to start their own businesses, pursue their dreams. That is much bigger than just cash flow, right? Because they have a
Absolutely.
stable income coming in. So that stable income is, gives them the freedom to say, I can now go start my company, or I can go pursue some different career I want to pursue, right? Maybe it's dancing or acting or whatever it is, right? But
Yeah.
you don't have to be married to your job, and knowing that, if you don't have a job, there's no money coming in, you can't pay my bills.
Yeah.
Those That freedom is going to pay their bills, and they can pursue their dreams. I think that's a bigger gift that you can give. That
Oh, absolutely. Because I keep telling people, people you see, especially first generation immigrants, right? And I think you will completely understand this working 60, 70,
of
80
course, yes.
hours, right? Where you're just totally, but I feel that that is fine. You're doing that because you're building a business, you're an entrepreneur. Um, but the ability, when you have invested in real estate, where every month you know that there's a certain amount of income which is going to keep coming in, it gives you that freedom to do what you are doing, right? To build your business, to be able to go retire anywhere in the world, to be able to just feel free, to be able to give this gift of freedom to your children so that they don't have to just live to work, but they are working because they want to be able to build something and create something, and the ability to be able to get up, and whether it's traveling the world or it's spending time with the family. I mean, all these
Yeah.
things, these.
And you can give to charities or your family, or your loved
Yes,
ones, your community. There's a lot more things you can do, right? I think
absolutely.
real estate is a good way to stabilize your finances, right? So that real estate, having assets and cash flow, over a period of time, which gives you the strong foundation that you can literally, build anything on top of, right? Also gives you the fulfillment, if you're one of those people who like to give to other people, or give to charities, or your church, or your community mosque, whatever it is, right? So that is something that, that going to give you the most fulfillment, right? By helping other people, right? So all of that freedom comes from acquiring assets to start with, and it's not a get rich quick scheme.
It,
And it takes time. The earlier you start, it takes several years to build up wealth in real estate. The quick way
yes.
to make money is start a business, right? So if you want to make quick money, start a business, work hard, figure out how to grow your business. That's how most people make their millions. And then real estate become a place that you can invest and preserve that wealth that you're created, and grow it further, right? So that is the way usually it works. So if you want to make quick money, start a business. If you're working somewhere else, or if you have a business already, start investing and start accumulating the wealth.
Absolutely. Any final words to people who are listening? Joe, where can people find you? Any advice for people?
Yeah, I'm all over the internet. So just search for Joseph James. I will show up on LinkedIn, or like Simon said before, go to www.roimuse, that is roimuse.com. And if you just fill out the form, and you'll find our contact information, how to reach out to our team, and they'll put you in connection with me.
And I think it's just so important to believe in yourself and to just take that leap of faith, right? I think life is about taking chances. I think life is about evolving and changing and growth and, going towards whatever it is that you're passionate about. And I don't think, whether it's you, Joe, or it's myself, we have gone through so much change and whatnot, and just so much in life.
That's the beauty about life, right? It's
it,
always in motion, right?
it
So
is.
yeah.
And if you try to stay constant, then life will take over and throw you around and put you in a place where you're forced to take action so you don't become stagnant. And that's the fun of it. So I think I myself am now addicted to change. I don't know if that's good or bad, but um, you know, uh, you keep trying and you keep evolving, and Joe, I wish only the best for you. I hope you take ROI Muse where your vision is, what you expect from it. You make it there soon, and
we,
you know,
we, we are working on it. We'll get there.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Well, Joe, I'm going to remove you from here, and thank you for being a part of wealth building, and people know where to
Yeah,
find you.
absolutely. Glad to be here, and thank you so much for having me. All right. Good luck
Absolutely.
to you, Taima. Talk soon.
Thank you. So, friends, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of my journey, and thank you for showing up and taking that initiative where you realize that there is something that you need to do in your life and change the flow of where life is taking you. So, thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of my journey. We will see you next week with another guest. And Dan is going to be here. He is also pretty amazing, very cool with what he does. Again, all about commercial real estate. And we will see you on next Tuesday from 1 to 2 Central Time. And stay well and take care. And let's keep touching lives together.